Hello, how are you? Welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. I sure appreciate it. I hope you're all having a great night. Happy Monday. Start to another week. Next week, we're going to the beach. I can't wait, y'all. I'm so ready. I need a vacation desperately. So I'm not packed, but I might as well be. All right, here we go. Let me turn this on. Okay, I have my keyword all set up. I'm looking for my video. That's not it. Goodness. Okay, here we are. Hi. Make sure you say hey whenever you hop on. Keyword is USA. Okay. This is the outside the box frame, the 9x12. I'm going to pop this out of here real quick. And I'm going to set that part to the side. I am going to wax this, okay? I like to use the wood surfaces from chalk a lot, but I do like to wax them first. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I feel like it helps because there is a wood grain on here. It just helps to give you a smoother surface to actually put your transfer down on and keep from having bleed, okay? On the other side, the wood side, it's not as bad, but on the white side, it definitely needs it, I think. So, do with that what you like. Comment USA to get the link to get all this stuff for yourself. We're going to use the National Anthem transfer, and it is a C size, so I'll show you what I do with the C size. And obviously this whole thing isn't going to fit on here, but that's totally fine. I'm going to just take this off of here and I'm going to stick it right to my fuzzing cloth. And like, I don't think I'm even going to fuzz this a lot. I'm just going to use this to transfer it, okay? Just so that I don't get it all stuck to itself, okay? So we're going to use this white background on the surface just the way it is. So I'm going to just pull this up and attempt to line this thing up here pretty well. Now this isn't, like I said, it's not going to fit all the way on here, but we're going to get the idea of the national anthem on here, if that makes sense. I think that's actually straight the first time. I do have like, what is that? Oh, it's something on the board. I don't know. And another something stuck in my transfer. So let me get a pair of tweezers and see if I can't. I don't know what that is, but hopefully it's not going to mess me up being right there on the edge of the silk screen. Okay, so we're going to make sure that this is really good and pressed down. We don't have any bubbles or anything like that. This is candy apple paste. And I'm hoping, yes, I do have a clean squeegee here. We're going to use candy apple on this entire transfer. Now, I'm going to kind of go on thick to start with, okay, and then I'm gonna wipe it, like scrape it, okay, because covering this entire thing is gonna take quite a bit of paste, and I don't want it to dry, okay, so really go big. You might even want to use a bigger squeegee, okay? A small squeegee, or the other one with the handle, the handled squeegee, would be a great tool to use here, to be sure that you cover this quickly, especially just using one color, okay? And I love that this board has a white background so that I don't have to paint anything first. Okay, so that's a lot of paste on here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come back and scrape up my excess and put it right back in my jar quickly. Okay, I want to do this fast. I highly recommend that you don't have a fan on in a room that you're working in, especially with matte paste, because it dries so quick and the fan will just expedite that drying process like no other. Okay, y'all, this is perfection. Let me leave that over there. Okay, see it? It's great. It turned out just right. No issues that I can see. That transfer has some distressing on it, which as you know, I love distressed anything. So we'll dry this really well. I do want to get my distressing ink in a little dauber that I just threw across the room and give it a little bit of distressing all over, okay? Kind of testing everywhere to make sure that we're good and dry. I think we're good. Alright, y'all, it's hot in here. I don't know. Having hot flashes or what? Okay, so this is the walnut distressing ink. Okay, I'm just going to take my dauber like this and just kind of go, I think I'll probably just do it on the white parts here and there, just so it's not so perfect, right? Not really any rhyme or reason. But you want to make sure that your paste is good and dry, because you can spread it at this point if it's not quite dry, okay? All right, and then I know y'all are probably thinking, Pam, what's the point of the bright white board if you're just going to turn it all dirty? Well, I don't know. I didn't have to paint it white and then distress it though, so that's one less step. Again, you can comment USA to get the link to get all this stuff. And if you're not a Perks member, you can sign up to be my Perks member and save 30% on your purchases. So that's always fun. All right, that's good. I think we're good. Okay, so that's done. Let me throw all of that back over there. So there's that, okay? Now this just slides right in. Oh no, so I didn't send out I have 2 notifications that I normally send. I didn't do it tonight because I wanted to test and see if I actually received the note, like one of them. But you can comment !notify. I can't pick that up because it's gonna fall over, but !and the word notify with no space, and you should get a message here, and then you'll automatically get one whenever I go live. Okay, I have all this stuff here. A bunch of ribbon that I picked out of my drawer a minute ago. A bunch of different ones. I love like patriotic stuff, so always buying that and saving it for later. Okay, so I'm gonna do like a pinwheel type bow, and I'm gonna mix these. So I'm doing 3 this time, which is a little bit different than my norm. Y'all, it is hot in here. Hot, I tell you what. Oh, I need the little ones too. I don't know why it's significantly warmer in here than it normally is, but it is, and I'm not loving it. Let's do that one. Get a good mix of these. Okay, so there's that. I do have a couple of little zip ties here now. I think I did that wrong. Yeah, I did. Here, stick one in the other. And then I'm gonna just take this and scrunch it up to the middle, okay? Now, with unwired ribbon, it's kind of difficult, okay? So these little ones are like a struggle, but scrunch that thing together, and then we can worry about all of the logistics of the ribbons here in a second. Get that zip tie on there, and then before I completely like decimate this whole thing and pull it all the way together, I want to make sure that all my ribbons are facing up, and then you can just pull it as tight as it'll go. Okay, there you go. Now, oops, my little wire cutters, cut that and the back one. And then we're gonna have to cover this, so, well, firstly, we need to like pull this all apart and fluff our bow up some. And this one's too long, it's getting a little floppy. So, just trim that one. Okay, now that's our bow, okay? And then I have, oh, you know what? I didn't even use this piece. Darn it, y'all. Okay. I have this thicker jute that I like so much, and I'm going to just take it, and I pulled out like a ton just now. I didn't need that much, but I'm gonna just wrap it, and I'm gonna take the end and glue it back here on the back. Now, if you want this board to be reusable, okay, to where you can pull it out, then you don't want to glue the bow to it unless you want to rip the bow off of it later, okay? It can be double-sided regardless. But just consider that whenever you're making this project, okay? Because I'm going to glue this right to the board. And if you want to be able to pull the board out, because these are reusable, and change out the center, or like the board part, then don't glue it to the board, okay? And there are other ways that you can use tape if you want to, which is always good, like painter's tape. Glue, or put that down on the board first and then glue to that. That works phenomenally to make it reusable. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. Okay, so there's my bow. And the more ribbons you use, the more fluffy you can make it, okay? And, I mean, you can do it longer or whatever, but I just wanted it to be big enough for this center thing. Now, the other thing I was thinking is I have these little stars, and I don't know if I'm going to use them. Also, remember the slit is, if you hang it with the slit side down, then this thing will fall out of here. So keep that in mind as you're doing this project. You can remove the board and put it to where the slit is not up and down, okay? Where it's up and not down. And I was thinking I'd use these stars, but we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to or not. Oh, y'all, it is so hot in here. I don't know about those, but one of my friends did a project very similar to this, and I loved it, so I thought, stealing that idea. I know, I like the rustic look too, so it works for me and who I am as a person, but, you know, if you want it bright white, then just don't distress it any. And then, like I said, you could use tape on the underneath the bow and just glue right to the tape instead of gluing right onto the board, and it'll be perfect. But y'all, check this out. Super simple, really cute. 4th of July, patriotic decor, Memorial Day even. Ready to hang in literally minutes from start to finish. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. You can comment the word you can comment USA to get the link to get all the stuff that I used, okay? All right. Good night, y'all. See you later.